Most people end up going to their grave never knowing this exists. The one move that changed everything, my income, my health, my entire life. This is the exact shift that took me from lying on my deathbed in massive debt with only 48 hours to live to building a life and business way beyond my wildest dreams. Now, without this mindset, nothing changes. Not your income, not your freedom, not your future, no matter how hard you work or how long you wait. Back in February 2016, I was given 48 hours to live. I was fit and healthy. I was at home with my 2 young children, and all of a sudden, my entire world came crumbling down. And within minutes, without any signs or warnings or any sort, I was rushed into hospital and transferred to the specialist unit. And I was delivered this huge blow by the doctor. He said that my condition was really serious and the next 48 hours were crucial. Now, how could this happen to me? I'm lying there and all I could think about is my 2 young children growing up without their dad. And all the dreams, ambitions that I had, all the promises that I made to myself, my family, for a better life. And there I was laying helpless with tears running down my face, not knowing if I'd ever see my children again. And in those 48 hours, I made a decision, not a wish, not a prayer, a real committed decision that I was not gonna die in that bed. And if I got out, I was never ever gonna go and live below what I knew I was capable of doing. I decided to put up the biggest fight in my life. Now, I had a choice. I could either lie there and crumble and accept what I was facing, or I could lace up my gloves and fight for my life one last time. Up until this point, I was a huge fan of Bob Proctor. I'd been studying his work for quite some time, and right at that point, I decided that I've got to apply his teachings if I wanted to survive. I remember being so weak and fragile, I managed to get hold of my phone, went onto YouTube, typed in Bob Proctor, and I found this video, and I immediately started working on my mind, and I put it to effective use. 2 weeks later, being stuck in that hospital, the doctor came back to me after my final test. He looked at me and said, "I can't explain medically why you're walking out of this hospital with a clear bill of health." That moment proved something to me, and I built my entire life and business around that. The most powerful force in your life is not your circumstances, not your background, it's not your market, it's not your strategy or timing. It's your mind. And the moment you learn how to use it the right way, everything changes. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I haven't had a near-death experience. I don't have that kind of a catalyst. And I want to address that with you directly. You don't need one. What I discovered in that hospital room is the shift that's available to every single person watching this video right now. You just need to know how to apply it. And that's exactly what we're gonna get into. I'm Mindy, founder and CEO of Mind, Money and Business. That's my training company. I've helped business owners add an extra $100 million of revenue across their businesses globally in more than 87 different industries. In this video, I'm gonna show you the exact mindset shift that changed everything in my life immediately and why it works at the neurological level and the 3 steps that you can start implementing today to make it work in yours. The one mindset shift. Stop living from your current reality and start living from your desired future. Now, here's what I mean by that. Right now, a vast majority of your decisions are being made by the version of you that already exists today. The versions shaped by your previous experiences, your previous results, your current bank balance, your current identity, every move you make, every opportunity you pursue or you avoid, every price you charge, every little risk you take or you don't take. All of this is being filtered through the lens of what you currently believe about yourself and who you are. And as long as that version of you is the one making every decision, your future will look almost identical to your past. Not because you're not capable of doing more, but because you can only create from your current identity that you hold of yourself. Now, your outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. Now, if your inner world hasn't changed, the outer world won't either. And that one shift that's changed my life lying in that hospital bed has changed the lives of thousands of entrepreneurs that I work with ever since then. And this is a shift. You make a committed, non-negotiable decision about who you're becoming, not who you hope to become, not who you're trying to become. You have to decide that you're already that person at the deepest level. And then you start making every single decision every single day from that future identity rather than the one you are right now. This is not visualization. This is not positive thinking. This is not repeating affirmations in the mirror, hoping that something shifts. This is a crucial part of rewiring your operating system that controls your life and your business. When it's done properly, when it's done at the level of the deep identity rather than just on the surface level, the results are immediate. And guess what? They're also permanent. And it starts with these 3 concrete steps. And I want to go deep down into each one of them now. The first step towards implementing this mindset shift is to take full responsibility of every single result in your life without exception. Now, going back to when I was lying in that bed, now I had 2 choices then. I could have either listened to what the doctor told me, and I could have said my life is all over. I could have just cried my eyes out and told everybody that I'm about to die. I could just gone into victim mode, but I didn't. I made a conscious choice right then. Think about how many people actually give up in a situation when they've been dealt with bad news. They just accept it and do nothing with it. So I decided that, hey, listen, I've got a mind and I'm going to learn how to use it correctly. I knew the basis of how to use my mind, but now was the time, if ever, to put it into practice. So I decided to stop my entire family to come visit me in that hospital for the next 2 weeks because I did not want to have any negativity towards me, my health. I didn't want to have the conversation with anybody. Didn't tell a single soul that I was in there, apart from a couple of close friends. So I decided that I was going to actually visualize myself with the result that I actually wanted, not in the hospital bed. Now, I was in my environment. All I could see is a hospital environment. So you imagine how hard that was for me. I'm in hospital. I'm telling myself that I'm healthy. I'm kind of contradicting my environment. So that's sometimes what you have to do. You have to contradict where you currently are. So I chose to use my imagination effectively. I'd close my eyes and I'd see the image of exactly what I wanted. I'd see myself walking out of the hospital, doing the things that I normally did, having a successful business, whilst all my present reality was telling me something totally different. And I had to do this time and time again, hour after hour. I'd wake up in the morning, frail, fragile, but then I had to see myself as strong, resilient, successful. I had so much debt. I had to use my imagination to not focus on debt. I could focus on either something negative or something positive. So my mindset could have been negative or positive. Now, you know what would happen if I chose to think negative thoughts, and I'd choose negative thoughts, I'd have negative feelings, and guess what? My body would break down at a faster pace. My vibration level would have gone down and I would have disintegrated. But I chose to rise my vibration inside my mind, my imagination, and I started to think healthy thoughts, abundant thoughts. And every single night I sat there, lay there in bed, just focusing my full energy on the outcome that I wanted. How many times in your life have you been dealt with a situation and it's not serving you correctly, and all you can think about is the situation that you're in? And guess what happens? You create more of the same. So this is exactly what would happen with me. If I thought ill health, if I thought, oh no, I'm going to die, my kids are not going to see me, guess what? They wouldn't have seen me. I would have manifested that into my life. But I just held this vision of exactly what I wanted, of good sound health. Now, I was so frail, I can barely pick up my phone. I could barely walk. And even with that going on, I had to use my imagination. I had to really get strong with myself. And that is what you call a mindset shift. Not just positive thinking, not just saying a bunch of weird affirmations, not just jumping up and down like an idiot. I had to take full responsibility of where I was, my mind. It was my mind, my choice, my reasoning. And that's what really started to get me on that road to recovery. So I want you to take full responsibility of what's going on with you right now. You may not have caused the situation, but it's down to you how you think, how you respond or react to that situation, or what's going to happen. Is that situation going to get worse, or is it going to get better? It's all down to how you use your mindset. If you have the shift, you'll shift. If you don't, you'll disintegrate. Before the next step, if this is already landing for you, I have put together a free 5-day challenge. There's a link in the description below where you can register for your seat for free. Over the 5 days, you're going to learn how to reprogram your subconscious mind and scale your business fast without burning out and create consistent wealth. So make sure you hit the link below and register for your free seat for the 5-day challenge. It's going to be insane. Now, the second step is to upgrade the concept that you have of yourself. Now, everybody has a concept of themselves. I had a concept of myself with money. I didn't really believe I was good with money. I never really saw myself with money, and I never really had any successes. I remember one of my teachers at school told me, his name was Mr. Lawson, he goes, Mindy, you will never amount to anything. Now, this was a person of trust. I really respected his opinion about myself. And I was about 15 years old then. From my teens to like when I was about 40 years old, I still carried that one concept with me that I would never amount to anything. So every time I stepped out to do something, every time I started a business, every time I tried to do something big, guess what? Undercover, behind the scenes, that record was playing. I heard his voice, you'd never amount to anything. So I'd already failed before I'd even started. And I didn't know why this was happening. I thought maybe I'm not cut out to be successful. Maybe it's not for me. I'm not that type of a person that earns money. I didn't realize until later on in my life that I actually had a concept, a version of myself that wasn't fit to go where I wanted to go. And I didn't know that I could change it. I just felt this is the type of a person that I am. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you've given yourself a label of the type of a person that you believe you are, the type of results that you get. Now, when I discovered that I had this concept of myself and it can be changed. When I learned how this could be changed, that's when I start to see my income start to climb, business start to be attracted to me faster, good things start to happen to me because I was not operating with my outdated concept. I'd create this whole new concept of myself. And that's exactly how this was. Imagine having a Lamborghini with a Ford engine in it. It's not going to go very fast, right? The concept is your engine. That's where you produce the goods, the tangible riches. Now, if you're willing to learn how to change your concept of yourself and understand one thing, that your concept of your current self right now doesn't have to be the same in a year's time and 6 months from now. You can change that concept. So what are some of the ideas that you have about yourself that you just don't believe? Well, you do believe them, but you don't like the belief. I believe that I wasn't able to create success. I always had this concept of someone who only had $1,000 in their bank balance at any one given time. And no matter what I did, no matter how much I tried, no matter how much new money came in, that concept of me would always overtake, and any new money would always find a way to leave me. And this is what happens with business owners time and time again. Your business is a reflection of the concept that you have about yourself. So we plug more money into marketing strategy and all these kind of things, and guess what? You have a temporary improvement in your results, but then it comes crashing back down. Now, why does that happen? Because you are not in alignment with this new version of yourself that you want to be. You're currently operating from your current level, your current concept. So your current concept dictates exactly what you attract into your life. So it's not too late to change. You may be a student of personal development for some time. You might be doing lots of affirmations, reading lots of books, watching YouTube videos, but it's the implementation that actually changes a thing for you. So what is your current concept of yourself with your finances, with your business, with your wealth? And what is a new concept that you want to form? Why not write a new concept of yourself, the type of a person that you want to become, and start leaning into that a bit more every single day and watch what happens. Now, this is the third and final step. And this is where you actually step forward and start to take action, take aggressive action. You've probably been in situations when you know what you should be doing and you're not doing them because you're waiting for the perfect time. And that's inaction. That's the total opposite from action. So what can you do today that's going to move your business forward, move your finances forward? Maybe you're one of those people that make to-do lists, but guess what? At the end of the day, nothing gets done. And you say, you know what? I just didn't get around to doing it. But there's always a valid excuse, a valid reason why you didn't take the action. So you've got to go back into being accountable. So be accountable for your actions. So what would that new version of you be? We spoke about concept in point number 2. So this new concept of yourself, how would you be operating from this new version of yourself? What new character traits would you have? What new actions would you be taking? How much more would you be driven to take more action? So you've got to get into that point where you'll be hard on yourself. A lot of people are not willing to criticize their own actions enough. They always let themselves off the hook. And I remember when I first started to form my concept, this new concept of myself, I had to get into a different action. I had to get aggressive with myself. And people don't generally like that term aggressive because it's deemed as a negative energy. But really it's not. This is where you build momentum. So every single day, you've got to wake up like a lion or a lioness and have that mindset. Today, I'm going to win. Great things are going to happen to me today. Tell yourself that over and over again. I can do this. Whenever you face a challenge where you tell yourself this is too hard, I can't do this, guess what's happening? You're reinforcing your old concept of yourself. So this is where you've got to really step up and really stir up your emotions and say, enough is enough. And you've got to look yourself in the eye and say, you know what? I've got this. I'm going to do this. And you become invincible. So every action you avoid taking, you start taking that action. It's going to make you more and more powerful. You'll find that you just feel amazing about yourself. Tony Robbins said one thing that's always stuck with me: progress equals happiness. So when you're progressing, you're happier. So you'll find as you start taking action, you're going to start feeling good about yourself. And next time you have to take action, you're already used to taking action. So it's not going to be a big thing for you. You're going to be an action taker. Action, reaction. Remember that, the law of cause and effect. You take the action, the universe gives you the reaction. So I want you to today embody change. There's probably things that you can do today that's going to move the needle in your business forward. What kind of a mindset would you have if you were an action taker? If you were already at your goal, would you still be making excuses? Would you still be putting things off? Probably not. You'll probably be further along. So remember, embody, stand up tall, have that mindset, killer instinct of action. I'm going to do more today than I did yesterday. Guess what? Your subconscious mind will start to accept you as an action taker, and you'll start to naturally take more and more action. It's a habit. Inaction's a habit and taking action is a habit. So which one do you choose? massive action. For you to live in the future version of yourself, you must know what that future version of yourself would be like. So I would suggest take a pen and paper and write down a small description of the type of a person that you want to become. So if you're not an action taker, I take huge amounts of action. I love prospecting. I love making deals. I love reaching out to people. I love serving my clients. I'm always taking action. I always get back to people. I always respond fast. I'm super confident. Whatever that is for you, write down a description of the person that you'd be and start to embody and act as if you're already that person. Start looking for clues of what you're not doing in that and start embodying that person. Take massive action. Become that script in your mind, then in your body. So let's recap. That single mindset shift that changes everything is this. Stop making decisions from where your identity currently is and start making every single decision from the identity that you've decided to become. Your circumstances are not your ceiling. That's your starting point. And the moment you begin operating from that understanding, everything in your life and your business begins to shift. The 3 steps we spoke about in this video and that you need to start implementing and start today. Step 1, take radical responsibility for every result in your life without exception, because ownership is the only position from which real and lasting change is ever possible. Step 2, upgrade your concept of yourself, because a conscious decision without the subconscious alignment will always drift back to the familiar. And step number 3 is to take action, take aggressive action, make every single decision from your future identity rather than your current circumstances, because your past circumstances are a broken indicator of your past thinking, not a verdict of your future. Now, I was lying in that hospital bed at 37 years old being told that I only had 48 hours to live. The thing that the doctors could not explain wasn't medicine, it was a decision that I'd completely made without any conditions. And I made that decision with commitment, with conviction, no going back. The same decision is available to every single person watching this video right now. Now, the question is not whether you're capable of making it happen. The question is whether you're willing to do it. If this video shifted something for you, you need to watch this next one right now. In this one, we uncover your hidden money code, the subconscious beliefs that are setting your limits on your income and how you can actually change that money code. And if you change that code, you change your financial game for good. So click the video right here and I'll see you on the inside.